And hello, movie love. And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. Today, I actually have Pick a Flick podcast with me. We're going to be talking about Comic Con 2024 highlights, top moments, panels, and reveals from the 2024. This is actually the Comic Con wrap up show, so go on ahead, click that subscribe button, smash that subscribe button, go on ahead and tell everybody about Movie Love Tonight. And hey, Western, how you doing? AKA the Pick a Flick podcast. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Doing good at my
Yeah, I'm just vibing like it's a concert. It's a vibe.
There we go. Sorry, guys, technical difficulties. I do apologize for that as well. There's been a little bit of a small delay and everything, but hey, here we are. So
Yes.
that being said, we actually have some movie news here.
Yes.
So, do we want to go on ahead? Do we want to do Robert Downey Jr. or do we want to go on ahead and drop some other stuff?
You know what? We should tease them. We should warm up and power up to Robert Downey Jr.
I think
I
so. I
think we
think
should
we
do
need to
that.
do that midway through because by then the energy is just there. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Exactly.
So let's talk about this for a minute here. So we
Well,
actually have Keanu Reeves doing Berserker. He's been talking about doing a Berserker movie for a while. I'm a huge fan of
mm,
Berserker. Berserker is hands down one of my favorite comic books from Boom Studios. Also, too, if you're looking for something original, suggest going to Boom Studios because they have some great comic books over there. And yeah, I'm excited that Kano has actually did a whole entire panel of Berserker. He's also expanded the idea of doing a Netflix uh, series for an anime series of a feature film. Among those taking parts in the movie and was announced at the showrunner for the anime project. So it's going to be a live action adaptation probably later on, but for the most part, I'm excited. I'm excited for this. You know anything about Berserker or anything like
but
that?
I know a lot about piano, so
Okay, so basically, it's about an immortal warrior who's known as Berserker. He fights his way through the ages. A limited series, but it's fantastic. I love this whole entire idea of like this test subject years old. It is just a fantastic comic, and that's something I really like with Boom Studios is they really dive into originality versus Marvel and DC comics, which I kind of stray away from a little bit because of that. I just feel like it's the same recycled stuff over and over again. Versus Boom Studios is actually doing something a little different. So,
hmm,
just
interesting.
want to put my 2 cents there. So, what do you? So, anything else you wanted to add as far as that goes, or any questions or anything?
Since I'm not familiar with it, I have nothing really else to add other than let's go, Keanu.
Okay. So, going ahead, talk about some of the stuff that you wanted to talk about as
Why, thank you. I wanted one thing I really want to talk about. I wanted to cut for time because one of the things I did want to bring up on animation side is past your demo you're not really interested in. So I traded it out with Talk for the Boys, which had its panel during the convention. And of course, with this recent season concluding not so long ago, there's been an announcement of a new prequel show that'll be revolving around Soldier Boy and Stormfront. Now, the plot is described as a twisted murder mystery, a soldier boy going on these missions while you have Stormfront teaming in to take him down. It's an interesting plot aside. I'm just not sure if I'm quite ready for that yet, especially when there's a lot of these other prequels that's going on. Gen V recently premiered. Uh, they're working on something else set in Mexico. I even heard that Medea is probably going to be doing something with them. I'll make that last one. But the fact of the matter is, while I do enjoy the character of Soldier Boy, I just cannot stand Storm. Right, and that's the purpose. I want to see her being a full-on recurring character in this prequel. I would much rather prefer her being a guest character, maybe for some crucial episodic conflict in the final episode or something. Who knows? But as far as we know, that's still in development because they're working on Gen V, which should be premiering next year, the next season. So I don't know, man. What do you
Of
think?
the fact that I think that she was a fun character at that time, and especially with all the stuff that, um, with all the stuff that you know, right now, not Soldier Boy, but one that one that likes. Thank you, but yeah, sorry, I went blank for a minute. But you see, though, I like the idea of that because of the stuff that they've done with her and the development of her. But I want to know what made her be the way she is. Stuff because I think they do a deep dive into who her character is and be able to focus in and because like some villain stories I think that you don't need to have a background story or anything like that. I think that's fine. Just like Joker, I don't think he needs an origin story or about his life. And I think it just ruins
Yeah, right.
the imagination and the storytelling by, you know, just by giving us more details into a villain's life and stuff. But with Stormfront, though, it's a different story. I'm very intrigued to see where she came from, what she is, what made her be the way she is, stuff like that. And also, too, if they are able to make us care enough about her character in a sense of, you know, how they did Magnificent at the very first Magnificent movie, for example. They made us care about her the way they made us care about Magnificent and made her into this villain who she is. If she's not already turning to that point of being a villain, I'm interested in. But if she's already a full blown villain, I'm not interested in seeing it
Mm,
because I want to know what
right.
made her turn the way she is. Soldier Boy, I'm definitely interested in.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
actually one of my
I like him.
favorite people, favorite character on the show, and I'm definitely interested in seeing how they deep dive into him because I think there's a lot of meat there that you can actually go with that storyline. And I think you can actually end it where he's actually killing one of the boys' family members and let it go to black on that because we actually know what happens.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So, or we can just cut the black on when he's just captured and that's it, and lead into where the boys are actually they're breaking him out.
Right.
So, so it's one or the other they can actually go with. But I'm definitely interested. I'm definitely intrigued with it. I love the boys. I still need to finish up this season, but I'm just like letting it
Yeah.
marinate a little bit.
Which
But
which
it's
was
so
why
good.
I want to add the follow up news that it is confirmed that he will be reprising his role as Soldier Boy, Jensen Ackles, that is, for the fifth and
Awesome.
final season of The Boys. Now, how does he come back and make his big return? Use your imagination. I'm saying this because there's viewers like John who are not at the date with the latest season. There's those like me that kind of got a hint of how he could, return.
Right. But yeah, I love the boys. Boys is hands down one of my favorite shows to watch and stuff. Is but yeah, I'm definitely have to play some catch up with that.
Yeah,
So
for sure,
now
man.
I'm now I want to talk about this. So Michael C. Hall, who said that he was not going to ever return as Dexter, is now returning as Dexter.
Okay.
And I'm a huge Dexter fan. I actually did the Dexter After Show for like the last season they ever had of Dexter, Dexter New Blood. You can get that on audio podcast and also stream it as well on the YouTube channel as well. Look under the playlist. But I really love that show. And not only that, but I know some people were like, oh, I didn't like the ending because of the fact that I didn't want Dexter to die. And I was fine with the ending. I was fine with it. That's exactly how Michael C. Hall had been wanting to end the show from the very beginning. He didn't want to just let the character keep getting away with being a serial killer working for Miami Metro and stuff like that, and let the story keep playing out. And it seems like Dexter is basically the mob whenever it comes down to Dexter. It's like when you think he's out, they pull him back in. And this time he's actually going to be in the prequel series and stuff, doing the voiceover to his character and not being the actual character. Now,
Oh,
so I'm thinking he's like, okay, well, I don't actually have to be on screen. I can just do the voiceover work and be done and don't have to worry about having to actually do any flashbacks or anything like that because that's already been taken care of in the prequel show itself. So therefore I don't have to worry about that. I can just go ahead and do the voiceover work and be done. So that's how I'm looking at it from that angle. But this is also what he said. It's pretty heady. It's so gratifying, Hall said, to returning to the franchise to the prequel. I cannot wait to watch this show. I'm on the side to a certain degree and have a sense of what's coming, but I'm really excited. I've spent so much time with the character and to go back and have all the imaginative blanks filled in is going to be great. When we last saw Dexter Morgan, he was shot by his son Harrison in the finale of the limited series New Blood, which
mm,
aired in January of 2022. It remains one of the to be seen. He will return. So another thing I want to mention though too is this. Okay, so I'm fine with this. I think that him just doing this voiceover work is perfect. But as far as somebody's like, well, do we need this prequel series when we actually had Dexter when we actually had Michael C. Hall doing flashbacks as a younger Dexter? Even though they put a wig on him, they try to make him a little bit more younger by doing that. But it's
genius,
like, do
I
we
say. It's genius.
exactly? It's like, you know what? We don't need deep fake. We don't need deep fake. We're
We
just gonna
got
go
one
ahead.
person that can do the job. It's Tyler Perry. We're gonna call him. We're gonna get these
No,
wigs. No,
no.
okay.
But you know what though? I think that I didn't ask for a prequel series. I don't really think I needed a prequel series. And again, what do we actually need? But as far as a prequel series goes, I'm okay with it. I just feel like the story's been told in a sense because of the fact that we had Dexter and doing the flashbacks of Dexter with Michael C. Hall. Now, if there's some gray areas within those flashbacks that we haven't seen before, I'm okay with because if they're going to flesh that out, I'm fine with it. But it was just the same recycled stuff that we've seen from season to season, and I'm like, I don't need to see that. I want something new if we're going to do that. But that's just my thoughts on it. So
All
I know
right.
that you want to go to a different topic though too.
Oh yes. We're gonna talk about the slate that was rather disappointing. There wasn't much that was happening, and that is the DC slate. Uh, did it even have a panel? I'm
No,
not sure. Well, I'm
it
sure it did. I'm sure it did.
was like a mini panel, right? It's
Yeah, yeah. It was how about a mini panel?
like a micro bite of a panel.
Just a little bit.
But then
But they
again,
were.
but
Yeah,
then
what were you
again
saying?
though, James Gunn is rebooting everything and stuff like that too, so they don't really have much else to promote. So
Right.
it would have been smarter to wait and everything if they were going to do DC fandom, if that's ever a thing anymore. But I think it would have been smarter to wait for it and then promote your stuff if you don't have anything to promote.
Right. Speaking of the reboot stuff, there were two things that stood out for me from this panel because they have trailers. The first one is an animated show based on the comic Creature Commandos, which is something I'm not very familiar with, but apparently this is like the first new project in James Gunn's reimagined DC universe that's coming out later in the year. Uh, you know, it's got interesting looking characters. The animation is different for sure. It looks like something that would probably fit on Adult Swim rather than Max per se. But it does have some interesting names attached to the project that apparently also have some Marvel ties, including when we get to the Marvel panel, one actor will come up. David Harbour has a voice in there. Viola Davis will be reprising the voice as Amanda Waller. Alan Tudyk, Frank Grillo, Maria Bakalova, and James Gunn's brother Sean Gunn also have voice roles there. So I have to read up on Creature Commandos. The animation appeals to me. It looks interesting. It's something that I'd be
One
putting on the back burner.
one thing about DC is, okay, despite their
Yes.
films, their animations always fire. They put out
Right.
one of the best animations that you can actually think of.
Right.
So
True.
I did, like you said, I just need to do a deep dive into that series because I never focused in on that stuff. So I don't know anything about it, but I know that it's going to be really good, considering the fact that it's DC animation. DC does a damn good job of
Right.
doing that. So that's very intriguing for me to know that DC is actually doing something with their animation besides Harley Quinn.
That's true. We finally got something different and something fresh. I've never heard of this. Harlequin, I'm quite familiar with, but Creature Commandos, not so much. Now, the second thing that I have here, I'm just going to keep this quick because they are keeping the details as unambiguous as possible. The Penguin had recently dropped a trailer. Colin Farrell did not show up to Comic Con. I guess he's working on the project right now. So he came up on FaceTime or Zoom or whatever to present this new trailer. And I'll get to it in a moment. But one detail that came up on my timeline that I did send to you, and I'm going to say allegedly because a lot of the big film accounts that initially posted this detail deleted their tweets. So I don't know if this is a
I
real
think that the
quote.
studio heads are like, you know what, you're spot on. Because I know a
Yeah,
couple of pundits that actually got some news articles right before on some stuff, and they made
yeah,
them delete or re-edit their video, and they couldn't
right,
show their video. So it might be actually something that's actually there that's actually concrete evidence.
right.
But
Well, one of the creators behind the design for the penguin claimed that one of the inspirations for the character's makeup and disheveled look is none other than Harvey Weinstein.
I
I,
s-
I would, I would, I would, I understand why if this is not true, this would be deleted. But I don't see how that the inspiration for a character like the Penguin could be inspired by someone more evil than the Penguin himself really is. I mean, visually, yes, I get it because Colin Farrell looks absolutely
I would choose a
unrecognizable.
different inspiration.
Yeah, yeah. This is the second character this year I heard that was inspired design wise, facially by Harvey Weinstein. It's just disgusting, ugly.
And
So
now
I,
all I can think of now all I'm gonna picture with Colin Farrell is a studio executive that's doing war crimes in Gotham. That's all I'm gonna
and
picture
we
now.
don't need that. We don't need that.
No,
We don't need that. But I will say from the trailer, and this is going to disregard that annoying nitpick that we talked about the other week about trailer starts now. This trailer had one of those. The show
I'm
looks
glad I didn't watch it.
interesting. Yes, I was like Creature Commando surprisingly didn't have it, but the Penguins trailer did. It looks interesting. They're keeping the plot details very vague. There's something to do with John Turturro's character. His daughter comes in the fray, causes a little bit of conflict as the Penguin kind of rises up to the top in the underworld of crime in Gotham. So it should be an interesting show. It comes out very soon, September-ish. So I'm intrigued. I'm hooked. I love Colin Farrell. You know, I love that they're
I do
keeping the
too.
tradition of making these penguin characters unrecognizable. They did it with Dan DeVito. Here we go again with Colin Farrell.
But here's the thing, though. Danny DeVito is not a very good-looking guy. You're making a very good-looking dude into a ugly-looking guy.
But how do we make him more terrifying? Is what they said coming
Make him
into it,
into
and
Harvey
they
Weinstein
with a fat suit.
with a fat suit. Yeah, but you know, I'm excited for the Penguin series. This is actually one of those TV series that I'm going to wind up doing an after show for, just like how I did with House of the Dragon. This is
Mm,
one of those TV shows. I think I'm gonna give it at least 4 episodes just to see if I'm gonna enjoy it. Before, because here's the thing with me, it needs to be something that I feel like that's worth talking about and have that water cooler conversation. If it's
right.
not worth talking about, then I'm not gonna do an after show. Now that because I was gonna get this, I had thumbnails ready for the Continental, and that show sucked. So I'm like, okay, I'm not wasting my time with it. It doesn't even feel like a
Oh
John Wick TV series. It was always saturated with CGI. The story placement wasn't that great. I'm like, okay, I'm pulling the plug on it before I even get a chance to even.
What are you doing after for the Crow when that comes out?
I'm not even doing. I'm not even gonna go see that movie.
Oh
But
wow.
because if Bill Skarsgård says that he doesn't have faith in it, then why should I have faith in it?
Oh, did he say that?
Yeah, basically he doesn't like the movie.
Oh, okay.
So
Well
I'm
then,
not gonna believe in something that another actor doesn't believe in. You know what I mean?
yeah. When your lead is saying that before the movie comes out, it's another Dakota Johnson and Madam Web in the
Situation.
Amazon case again.
Right. So now we go into Marvel stuff, right?
Right, and we're gonna get some of the stuff before the big reveal. That'll be our
Right.
closer.
So I want to talk about the fact that the Russo brothers are coming in into the picture now to do Doomsday. They're also going to be doing what's the other Marvel project that they have titled? The Marvels, right?
Doomsday
Oh no,
and
no, Secret Wars.
Secret Wars. Yeah.
So I like the idea the Russo brothers are coming in and back into this because of the fact that when you have two directors who gave us one of the best Captain America movies, not to mention closed out the whole entire phase with Endgame, you have to go back to what made Marvel what it is. The Russo brothers are exactly who they are, but their other movies have been a whole lot of misses than home runs outside of the Marvel universe. 21 Bridges, the other movies that they made has not been home runs. But when it comes down to Marvel, they know what they're doing. And plus, the thing I like about the Russo brothers is they're two brothers. So whatever one person is being stressed over, the other brother can come in and try to help out with that stress level and help him out versus having one
Right.
director. So that's something I like. And I think Marvel needs a home run besides Deadpool right now because of the fact that Deadpool is actually Marvel Jesus. I'm just going to put that out there because it's so damn good. He's resurrected
Right.
Marvel again. And I think that they're going back to basics. They're going back to the old formula of what made them who they are, what made them successful. And if you're gonna go with go with any two directors, it would be the Russos.
All right.
What about for you?
Um. Well, see the Russo brothers' name has come up before. I'm about to look up their names because I know one particular project that they are behind. It's something that Netflix has been holding hostage for over a year now. It's got a budget of $200 million. Oh, okay. So I'm familiar with some of their titles. Distraction, Gray Man. I'm hopeful that they do have a vision with that. It seems like they have that blockbustery vision when it comes to their movies, and Avengers seems to fit the bill for them. I'm confident that they are going to get the job done. I'm interested to see what they do with these movies. Come down two, three, four, five, six, 700, 900, 1,000 years.
They're gonna be doing it until they're 90, to quote Deadpool.
Yes.
But yeah. So what else do you have as far as the Marvel panel goes? I know that we talked about those two things.
So we're gonna speed run these three next topics before we get to our closer, the one that everybody has been waiting for. The first one being Wesley Snipes apparently got lost. He was looking for a supermarket down in San Diego to get some groceries. Got lost and went inside the convention and apparently got a big applause and everything. I don't know why he was there, but this was during the Deadpool and Wolverine panel, and he
Okay.
reunited with Ryan Reynolds.
And then after that, reunited with Jennifer Gardner. Then after that, with the rest of the other 20th Century Fox people as well.
Right. I guess they were looking
So
for groceries too and they got lost. I don't know what's
right,
going on here.
it was right down the street. They couldn't miss the San Diego Comic Con sign or anything, so therefore
They
they
said,
had to
hey,
make a
let's
pit
show up.
stop.
We played iconic characters.
Right. So my thing is this, and this is my beef with it. You already have $100 million already making money.
Right.
People are already going to go see it. this is my pit now. This is also the same nitpick that I had with the trailers and stuff like that too. When it comes down, like how we did with Gladiator, for example. But this is my nitpick. This is my beef with it.
You're
You already
nitpicky,
have a movie that's in theaters and it's making money.
right?
We already know what we already know that we're gonna be there. You don't
Right.
have to try and sell it to the audience and say, "Hey, there's a Deadpool movie coming out. You guys should go out and see it."
Right. They're gonna go
They're
anyway.
already People are already gonna go see it. You're already talking to the audience that's already gonna go see it. There's no reason to spoil the cameos for people who haven't seen it or anything
Mm.
either. Because as soon as I seen Wesley Snipes pop up, I closed out the link because of the fact I didn't. Here's the thing: I have beef with people that do recordings in San Diego Comic Con because it's muffled. I don't understand a single damn thing that they're saying or anything, so I don't understand what they're saying. And
Yeah, I
it sounds
think
like
Wesley Snipes was saying,
some motherfuckers just want to skate uphill.
because these motherfuckers want to school up here. That's why we made
I'm
this.
from
We
over
made this. Fucking saying fucking shit. I'm like, okay, great. That's good.
and then the
But
crowd
yeah, I'm
goes
with you.
wild, and we don't know why. And now we have Johnny, and it's all muffled as well because we don't know without it. But here's the thing: I don't like the fact that they're promoting a movie that's already out, that's already got $100 million out there,
Yeah,
and they could have saved that for another thing.
it's only been 3 days
Right? And believe me, the hype
before
is
it got
not.
the
You don't have
previews.
to sell us on it. We're gonna be there opening day. Well, I was there the second day. I was there on Saturday because I got tired of
Right,
seeing the spoilers, and I just felt like I needed to go.
you had to go.
I had to go. I told my wife, "Hey, look, I need to go." She goes, "Where are you
This
going?"
is
I'm going to
I
go see
was like,
Deadpool and Wolverine because all I seen was Deadpool on a webcam on a camera doing the NSYNC uh bye 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 dance, and it was the credits. I'm like, I need to go. That's it.
I need to
I
go.
now. So I left, went and seen the movie, and that was it. So you don't need to go ahead and try and sell it to comic book fans when we're already going to be there. The people that you need to sell it to is the people, the average Joe who might not go see this movie and wait for streaming services. That's who you need to sell it to. But for us, doing it on somebody filming it and leaking it, that doesn't do anything. But that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to agree with you on this one. It just doesn't make sense to unveil the cameos right when the movie is just coming out. It would have been even worse if the movie did not even come out until another year, and you're
I
bringing
can
all
understand
these
if the movie
cameos.
bombed and you're trying to sell it
Exactly.
like
That would
that.
make more sense. Right. Or, they're trying to get it released and they're trying to build up some hype. It might be an indie thing at a film festival. They
It
got
could
to
be
get a
just like the
Kickstarter.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson trying to sell us Shazam or Black
Exactly.
Adam. Right.
I'm going back to the WWE and I'm bringing Black Adam. Woo, I'm sorry, the muffle. Shut up. uh, you know,
Right.
that's just the thing. But it doesn't make sense to bring in the cameos to the Comic Con Fest when
No.
the movie was just coming
You're telling it to the audience that's gonna be there.
out. It's just strange to me. It doesn't make
Right.
sense.
Like I said, I can understand that the movie was bombing and it was not successful, and you're like, okay, well, guess what? We got this cameo here with Blade. We have this one over here for your legacy characters from other Fox, from the other X-Men movies and stuff. We have something for
And at
everybody.
the
Come out
end,
and support us.
Michael Jackson comes from the grave. Matter of fact, we have him right now. Michael Jackson.
Eat
You
it.
know.
But anyways, so then they had that. To be honest with you, that was their weakest point of
Right.
them doing that. The strongest point was the Russo brothers, and their biggest moment was the moment that we're going to talk about in a minute.
Right. But I want to bring up the funny anecdote that happened. It just turned into its own meme. Apparently, during the Captain America panel, Harrison Ford got up and tried to channel his inner Red Hulk. And I've just seen a colossal bout of images, just him just raging out. He probably has about 50,000 hemorrhoids and kidney stones now, doing all of that, moving around. I haven't seen that actor since the third Star Wars movie. It's just the things that you do when you get to pay and you want to channel, you want to hype it up. People are mixed about the movie. Clarence is the lead, not Chris Evans. You got to do things to hype it up. And Harrison Ford, he took one for the team. He hulked up, got mad, and then he went up into the mic and said,
Not Steve Rogers.
and went to sleep.
But yeah, we get it. We get the fact that Harrison Ford is going to be Thunderbolt Ross. We don't need to see that either. That's also another weak point for me. You don't need
Right.
to see him looking like he's constipated on stage.
Is this constipated?
Like, I'm angry. Right.
Yeah, that's not
It's
constipated.
no. And then all of a sudden now somebody has to change his briefs because he hit shit on.
He blew it up.
Yeah, he blew it up. He blew Comic-Con away in 2024.
Quite
How was
literally.
Comic-Con? It was great until Harrison Ford came.
Yeah, and if he went into the mic and
Muffled, and then he took a shit, and then he left.
yeah, it was bizarre.
Strange things over at Comic-Con. But what
And
else happened at Comic-Con, though?
and then the
Besides...
last thing I do want to mention, I feel like this is a weak point. I I get that they want to hype this up, but considering the fact that filming hasn't even started on this project yet, it literally starts tomorrow and does not come out until another year. The cast of Fantastic Four, which the new title is The Fantastic Four First Steps, came out as Pedro Pascal. Oh gosh, I forgot the female actress's name. Lord forgive me. I have to look it
I
up
know
in
what
full
you're
name.
talking about. I know where you're going with it.
Yeah,
Well,
Joseph Quinn and Imam Moss Baccarat from the Baker. And they came to show some concept images and brief videos, I guess, done for pre-production that could be implemented into the actual movie. I don't know. I highly doubt this though. But they didn't stay for the entirety of the discussion because they literally had to take a jet to London to prepare for
they
filming.
had to go in the
It-
X-Men jet to go back over to London to film their movie. That's not even made
right,
yet.
and we're not even joking. There was a literal jet on the stage.
They could have just did a whole entire Skype thing and say, "Hey guys, we're over here in London. Do this like early 2000 style, right?"
Just like Colin Farrell did with the Penguin.
Exactly. But no, they made them go over there for no reason other than to say, "Hey guys, remember us? We're important. We were casted a couple of months ago as the Fantastic Four cast. And do you have a trailer? No. Do you have a
Do
poster?
you,
No.
we no.
You
Well,
have
I mean, we got concept images and posters,
well,
but it's not official.
I have another question. Do you have popcorn buckets? No.
No, but I have an idea. I say that we have the thing with a
The
mouth
fist.
open, right? And you can stick your hand within the fist,
And it's
or matter of fact, you can point it down and you can aim it and start shaking it in a strange position, and then popcorn just starts coming out. I think
right.
it's a genius idea.
Right. Watch them come out with it next year. But that's
With
the thing
extra
I have.
butter.
Okay, at least with the very first Doctor Strange movie, right? They didn't
Right.
have anything to promote at that time, but they gave us concept art pieces, right? Of the actual look of everything and stuff like that, set designs in animated form. I thought that was actually pretty cool to show us something like that.
Right.
They didn't show us anything other than the cast, and it's like, so are you guys excited about? Hey Pedro, I have a question. Yeah, are you excited about being part of the Fantastic Four? Yeah, you know
Yes,
what?
I'm
I think
excited
I
about the
am.
Fantastic Four and the Mandalorian and Eddington and
Right.
Materialist
Exactly.
and more Mandalorian.
Um, I have a. Are you
I
guys?
want
Are
The
you
Last
excited
of
about?
Us.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna get to that. Mr. Pascal. Mr. Pascal. Yes. Look, this is not a Fantastic Four question, but I do have a question. Okay, what's your question? So, when is The Last of Us is gonna come out?
That's probably the reason why they
Because at
didn't want
least
to
that's
stay as
halfway
long.
done.
Right. It would have just turned into people asking the actors about projects that are coming out much more sooner than
Exactly, which is
Fantastic Four.
also something that the actors cannot stand to do.
Right.
They're there to promote something, especially Joseph Quinn. Joseph Quinn, yes, I loved you as Eddie on Stranger Things. By the
When is
way,
the next season
congratulations
coming?
to you on Fantastic Four. But I have a
Right.
question: are you going to be in the Upside Down this year?
Right. Or are you going to be fighting gladiators with Denzel?
I
Which
don't
is it?
know. That just sounds really interesting. I like
I
playing
forgot he's
Eddie,
British.
but Eddie is a Doom character, and because he's a Doom character, he's not going to be next to Victor. So therefore, I'm going to have to tell you that I'm not going to be in Stranger. Then, ah, and then that's it.
Thank you, everybody. That was the Fantastic Forecast. I got to get on this jet back to London.
Peace. We'll be here in 2025 at San Diego Comic Con, spoiling all the other cameos that's going to be in our movie.
Right. And the movie will be coming out opening weekend that week.
Right?
Stay tuned, people.
But yeah, I'm not that. That was also another weak point. So yeah, two weak
Yeah, for sure.
points within the Marvel panel.
Right.
But
And
then they needed a
and
home run.
and the Thunderbolts happened. I guess that was another weak point because
Seen the trailer,
actors were there.
right? They came, they saw, they talked, and then they moved on.
And David Harbour probably got asked about the Upside Down too. Then he had to leave. So,
Right. It's like, well, guys, look, I appreciate the fact that you're concerned about Stranger Things. I'm happy to let you know that it's almost done with production. Um, but Joseph already answered those questions for you. He's
right,
not going to be in Stranger Things, but I'm going to be in Stranger Things, and it's going to be fantastic. You're going to love this. This is going to be a cinematic experience because it's going to be a longer runtime and everything. It's going to be something that you haven't seen before on TV.
right.
And guys, I gotta go now. I hope that everyone has a great day. Bye.
That was David Harbour talking about Thunderbolts. And don't forget, he's doing DC stuff too. Catch him in Creature Commandos.
And I can see it was like, did he though? Did he talk about Thunderbolts?
He did. It was
Yeah,
just, it's a different title, different actors, but you know,
you know, Thunderbolts, Stranger Things, Upside Down, just a Quinn, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Beats me.
But now, after those two misses, they come out with a grand slam.
Yes. I wonder what that Grand Slam is.
Now, I want to bring this up. 6 days ago,
Oh,
Jeff Schneider, the insider, who is
yes, we talked about
fantastic
him.
at doing scoops. This is the guy that you want to go to find inside information. And I
Mm,
remember I was listening to Christian Harloff's show, the Big Thing podcast, and he called up Jeff asking him a question about something, and he winds up lying his ass off because is that true? I have no idea, and he already knew the answer what it was. I was like, so do you think he knows? Yeah, he knows, but that's a different
what?
story that they had. But I'm just telling you how good Jeff is at his job when doing scoops. Because even with the Schmoes Know people, they were doing scoops before Jeff even got a hold of anything, and
Right.
they always ended up being 99.9% right. And so Jeff um said this that there's RDJ is going to probably come back as Doctor Doom.
And there was a rumor
Yep, that was
that
the rumor.
Prince might take on the role too, but he's unavailable. So back to RDJ.
But my first initial thought was, I'm just going to sweep this under the rug. It's not true. They're probably going to get Javier Bardem to play Doctor Doom. They're probably
That
going to
what you
get
gonna do?
some other actor to play Doctor Doom. So I just chalked it up as a rumor, and that was it. Because I don't go
Mm,
off of anything else unless it's actually concrete evidence. Then go into Comic Con. and I'll let you break it down.
So I was just sitting around, minding my business. I was twiddling my thumbs. I was listening to Muhammad Ali's speech, as I do every Saturday evening. Uh, Fight like a hummingbird, sting like a bee. And I go onto Twitter and I see Jonathan Majors' name trending. I click on it, and then I realize there's this major announcement that his movie, The Kang Dynasty, has been replaced with Avengers Doomsday. And it's confirmed that RDJ will be playing Doctor Doom. So I, alongside the timeline, are just losing our minds. We're just freaking out,
While
screaming.
you were having an aneurysm, I was in the theater watching Deadpool. And
Now
when I
imagine
came
you
back
getting your
home,
phone notification as you were watching that. You probably would have been distracted for the rest of the movie.
right, and I don't ever pull my phone out either, but
Right.
during the movie or anything. But my friend Chris, like, he ended up messaging me and everything. Goes, dude, did you see what I said? I already know. Pick a Flick already showed me the video, so I didn't
That's
really miss
right.
anything. But okay, so RDJ comes out. This has been a long ass time since we actually had an actor dressed up as the villain to a movie that's coming out. The last
Right.
time that happened was Loki.
Wow.
That's a long time ago. We have RDJ, who played hands down the best character in the MCU, and ever since Tony Stark died, Marvel died with him, and that's how I feel about it. I just feel like ever since um, that phase is gone, everything's been pure crap. Everything went through TV series, stuff like that. Marvel forgot what made their money. If they forgot that it's a movie going experience, it's not a TV experience, they basically turned into Blockbuster
Right.
because they forgot
Indeed.
who their customers are and what we want. And then uh, Deadpool resurrects the Marvel universe. Then you have RDJ that comes out as Doctor Doom. My first initial thought was this: like, do I like it? No, I fanboyed, but I was like, at the same time though, I always question things after I fanboy, stuff like that too,
Yeah.
because there's two sides of the coin, right? It's like,
Yeah.
do I like this idea? Could there be any other actor that could actually pick to play Doctor Doom?
Hmm.
But why does it have to be RDJ? RDJ sacrifice himself for the other characters and for the blimp to actually come for everybody to come back alive and everything inside the blimp.
Right.
So
Right.
that was my first initial thoughts. But like I mentioned before with the Russo brothers and everything, they're starting back to the formula that they know that works. So what better way to go back to the roots of it all than with RDJ
Mm.
as Doctor Doom?
Mm.
That is my philosophy on that. I think there's two ways to actually do it. From a studio standpoint, it I'm that's what they're looking at. From a fanboy perspective and stuff like that too, I'm sold on it. But I wish that they would have also picked maybe another actor, probably. But at the end of the day, they're going back to what works, the formula that works. That's what counts.
Right. That's your okay. That's where my cue comes in because I have some notes on this. So as I was fanboying, losing my mind, laughing at all the Jonathan Majors jokes, which I am going to throw because it's not like me to just ignore the jokes. We're going to talk about. I'm even going to bring up a casting that should come back in my notes in just a moment. But after the post aneurysm clarity concluded, I also had the different sides of the coin kind of scenario with you. On the one hand, I do think that RDJ could kill this Doctor Doom, and I do think he's a terrific actor. Uh, I do feel a bit of concern that they are calling in one of their most acclaimed performers to play a different character within that same universe so soon.
Well,
Now, I would have personally liked to see another actor, play Doctor Doom. I did as someone who hasn't worked with Marvel previously. And I do like new opportunities for first time actors and franchises and brands. I know people on Twitter were calling for Killian Murphy to do the part, but I don't think he is really interested in doing it at this point. Just like another person that I would have personally liked to see that people are fan casting for another character, Denzel Washington, because that's my uncle. He could do anything. He said he met with Marvel last year. Obviously, nothing of substance came to this. I've also seen some people mention Bryan Cranston, some older type characters. Mads Mikkelsen, Giancarlo, unfortunately, is doing Captain America, so he's out of the loop on that one. But it would have made me a bit more excited than the dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. Just to me. Just to me.
So let me explain how. Now this is me just. Now I actually talked to you about this earlier. Now this is not a spoiler for people who haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine or anything like that. I'm pulling
Right.
from Deadpool 2, and I'm also pulling from part of a trailer from Deadpool 3, from Deadpool and Wolverine. So because it involves the TVA, and we already know that Deadpool manipulated the timeline, and that's why TVA is after him in Deadpool and Wolverine. So, with that being said, I think because of the events that happened in Deadpool and Wolverine, I think this is another Earth that Deadpool's in. It's not going to be the Earth that we know that Tony Stark had died. I think that that somebody else played Tony Stark in another Earth. That's just me speculating. If you guys are tuning in, I'm just speculating on the fact that you know I think that this is actually going to be another Earth. I don't think this is the Earth that we already know. I think this is a different universe, and because of the fact it's a
Mm.
different universe, I think that's why Doctor Doom will exist in this universe. Also, too, we also have the Fantastic Four. I think the Fantastic Four also lives in this universe. I also believe, as well, that X-Men also live in this universe. It's just not the 616 Earth that we know of.
Right.
I think this is a different Earth. Now, going off my fan theory, what do you think?
You know what? That would make sense. If it takes place in another entirely different Earth, I feel like that would be the most cohesive idea going forward. And I hope that's kind of what they'll be going for with this announcement. I have faith that they'll do the right thing. But if they don't, ooh, I dread the comments on it.
Me too, because it'll be like, okay, all they're doing is recycling older older
Right.
actors that played other characters, a dude playing a dude, and doesn't give us
Disguised
anything
as
else.
another dude. We don't know who the dude playing the other dude is.
So that's how I feel about it. If this is a home run for them, aside from them announcing it on the stage and everything, I'm fine with it. Most likely, okay. So Luke, hey man, how are you doing, man? It's good to have you here. So most likely they will be in a. This is what Luke has. Will be in a fusion event leading to Secret Wars, but this time Doctor Doom will be the Iron Mechanic, or at least a loosely inspired version of that version of Doom. Okay, so that's
Mm.
that's interesting as well. I mean, I can go with that, but
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. What about you?
that doesn't actually sound like a bad idea.
No, it really doesn't. I like your theory, and I also like the theory that I came up with the different. So either which way it goes, as long as we don't
Right.
actually make our theories theoretical, as long as we don't actually make them how we would actually go see this movie, we're fine. Because I always check my theories at the door. I don't try to make something that it's not.
True. True.
This
So I do want to close out with this one final comment. I said I
version
was going
of
to bring up
Stark
the
has a
major.
connection. Hold on. This version of Stark has a connection to the Fantastic Four. So okay,
Oh,
Luke,
go back to that for a second.
let me ask you this. So are you insinuating that there's another actor playing Stark, and therefore, we're actually going to have Doom interacting with that Tony Stark, or are we going to say that RDJ is still Tony Stark within this universe and interacting as Doctor Doom at the same level?
I don't think
But
that has ever happened before. Just this actor playing two different characters.
me either. I don't think that's happened. But I think it would be too much if they did it that way. But I still like the idea of a different Earth that they live in, that they're living in, and this universe is now consist of X-Men and also consist of you know Fantastic Four and all that, all those because of the way that
Right.
RDJ will be a variant of Stark that goes down a dark path to become Doom. That's what Luke says.
Oh, okay.
Because I've always been knowing as Victor Von Doom, as Doctor Doom, but that's just going based off of canon. But then again, Marvel never really goes off of canon per se. They always do their own thing. So it's going to be interesting on how this gets played out and what we learn later on. But I definitely thank you for your insight, though, Luke. I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
So what I know there was something else that you wanted to
Oh yeah, yeah. See, the comic threw me out. See, this is some really good ideas. I hope Marvel is taking note. I'm pretty sure he's probably not going to give either of y'all any credit, but
mention. Nope, but it's good that even even if they just mentioned the podcast, I'll be happy.
just like my next suggestion that I'm about to give you, I'm gonna circle it back to Jonathan Majors. I'm not gonna rag on him too hard. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I feel like he's been through the ringer enough. We've been joking about him and his dance moves and things of that nature. But in terms of Kang, I feel like a full circle moment in terms of recasting. This has happened in the Iron Man universe. My top candidate that could replace Kang if they ever were to revise that idea would be none other than Terrence Howard, who got replaced by Don Cheadle for War Machine. I think it would be a full circle idea. You know, I think it could possibly work. Working against
You know what
Doom.
else would be funny?
Who knows?
I have
Who? Eddie
well, you said
Eddie
Terrence
Murphy.
Howard, so that makes it even that's that's genius. That's really genius.
For sure. I think it makes sense. And perhaps if Stark were to be played by another actor that's not RDJ within this universe, have Don Cheadle play Stark. I'm not sure that Terrence Howard has that charisma for a Stark like character. He is a good actor. Cheadle kind of fits the bill more. So to kind of have these two former actors face off would be interesting. And like if it was like a parody, it probably would actually happen. But in real life,
Well, Terrence
it's
Howard
probably
would be
not.
more like the player type with the smooth talking, a little bit
Yes,
of pizzazz, a little bit. Don Cheadle would be more
I
the
am
serious to his
Bavarian,
role.
man.
I'm mean, mean.
Mine,
What are you talking about, mean?
mine. I am the king variant, mine.
I'm Tony Stark, mean,
Mine. I was War Machine, mine.
mean. But yeah, all in all, though, I'm excited about the fact that we actually have RDJ back. I think it makes fun. I think it makes perfect sense on paper. I think it make for them to actually do that. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for some of the other stuff that happened at Comic Con. The Dexter stuff, I'm lukewarm with. I don't know if I want to see the prequel series or not, or if I'm even interested in it. But I might take a peek. I might take one little episode and see how what I think about it, just like how I'm going to be doing with Penguin series as well. So, what's your thoughts
All
on
right.
the wrap up of 2024's Comic Con?
Well, there were a lot of weak points, but there were some strong points in there. There's a lot of other things we did not get to that did come up. That I just cut for time. But overall, it looks like it was another decent year. Um, Next year, I hope they kind of bring in some more stronger points within these panels. I'm looking at you, DC Comics, and I'm hopeful that they, have something of substance so we can have a lot more diverse subjects. But I'm pretty sure some of the stuff that we discussed this year will be brought up again next year in more detail, and it'll be more fleshed out or finished.
Agreed. So, guys, that's gonna be it as far as the show goes and everything. But pick a flick. Tell them about your podcast and tell them what episode that you just released.
Well, it's not out yet. It'll be out tomorrow. But I'm going to be putting out a review for The Bike Riders. which is a movie that people's been talking about. It's got a great starring cast from Austin Butler to Tom Hardy, so I'm very interested to put that out and for those to listen to that. If you want to look out for that episode, if you can see that name below, that's my @ sign for a lot of those, or you can search for just Pick a Flick Podcast. And I'm sure this episode will also be out in audio format at that point. But of course, stay tuned for more.
So, guys, that's gonna be it. But I have something else I need to mention this though too. So we actually have a True Lies 30th anniversary review that I'm going to be doing with Vernon from It Is What It Is podcast. We're going to be doing that on August 14th at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. We are going to be doing our House of the Dragon reviews, of course, on Wednesdays, 8 o'clock, 8:30 Central Standard Time, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And then next week is gonna be like the last episode for it, so that's gonna be wrapping up, and Rossie will be back on the show doing shows with me. Can't wait for that. We also have an exclusive interview with actor Jake Jensen, who played in the movie Challengers. So I can't wait to actually talk to him about that. And yeah, we have a lot of things going over here at Movie Lovers Unite. Also, too, make sure you guys go on ahead and check out Rossie's podcast and everything. It's called Rossie's Clubhouse, and she's actually interviewing a stand-up comedian tonight, and she's actually going on in about 2 minutes. So you guys
Chris Rock?
catch her. So go on ahead, check her out. She's interviewing Missy Draper. So go on
Oh,
ahead, visit the clubhouse, Rossie's Clubhouse. She has a bunch. It's a Sacramento-based podcast. So yeah, that's everything that you guys need to know about her podcast and what we are doing here at Movie Lovers Unite. So everyone have a great and safe night. Thank you so much, Pick a Flick, as always. Thank you for bringing me your insightful news and, of course,
thank
your
you.
skits. I do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on again.
Anytime, man. Anytime. All right, guys. Well, that's gonna be it. And have a great and safe night. And catch you guys on the